Hello and welcome to the Creatives Cauldron, episode number 1. And we are your co-hosts. I am Stephen Zimmer and
I am Holly Marie Phillippe.
And we're here to bring you a show about independent creatives and their world and give you a little idea of what we do. We both work every day in the independent creatives world. We're talking about authors and movies and gaming and everything. And so, Holly, tell us a little bit about, first of all, I'm sure the audience wants to know what do we do and what have we done?
Well, what don't we do? That's the thing. Actually, we have a press called 7 Star Press that we run. Stephen even does the formatting and everything of the books. He's very talented. We have a talented group of artists we work with from all over the world, actually, that do beautiful covers. Our covers are absolutely gorgeous. You must check us out. We also have a branch of 7 Star Press that's called 7 Star Studios. We did film a TV pilot this summer. Raiden Valkyrie, Saga of Lionheart, if you haven't heard. Right here in Kentucky. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful country. The climate was a little rough. It was a little warm, but we made it through, bugs, snakes, and all. And what else do we do? Well, we're doing a web show now, obviously, a vlog, we're calling it. We're going to do a featured artist every week. We're not going to do it this week.
No. We figured week 1 we'll just kind of give you a little introduction into the show, let you know kind of what it's about, what kind of things we're going to tackle before we put any featured artists on the hot seat here, or into the heat of the cauldron, should we say.
That's correct. And the whole idea with the cauldron, Stephen's come up with, is because it's a melting pot. Creatives are not just authors, they're artists, they're game designers, they're
game designers, they're filmmakers, they are songwriters, they are,
poets,
everything, poets. So the whole creative process,
crafters,
everything kind of comes together to create that magic, and it's kind of like the idea, I was talking about earlier about a cauldron. It's like you have all these different aspects and ingredients that kind of come together to make the magic, and as you see, we have magic already coming out of the cauldron. So.
Yay!
And so hopefully we'll
welcome. That's some high dollar special effects.
And two, the other thing about a cauldron that I had talked to you about was just the fact that people that are independent creatives that are trying to do this as a living or a career, and that's something that's going to be a very important theme in our show, a lot of aspects go into it.
Yes.
A lot. It's not just a lot of hours of work.
People don't see the behind the scenes and what all actually goes into this, and the heart and soul that gets poured into the work. And what's so rough about today's market is that it's so flooded. People want everything for free. And these artists have worked so hard. This is like their babies, whether it's books or it's
movies,
canvas
or music,
prints, or anything like that, or something they've crafted with their hands. It's taken work. It's taken sometimes months, many hours of their time, energy, money they've poured into this. And today's market, you cannot just give everything for free. You need something back. And we want you to realize that you do have worth. And, you should be paid for what you do. And we should work as a team. Sometimes, you have to, well, not even sometimes, all the time, you have to work together.
Yeah, you really do.
One person cannot work their way up. You got to have somebody to help you. You have to have somebody there to help push you. I am his personal assistant.
No, we work together.
We work together, but I call myself a personal assistant.
She calls herself that, but no, we're very much a team, and a team. You could form all kinds of teams, and like she said, we work with artists all over the world. We have a fantastic artist, Angar, in Indonesia. We work with Rosario, who's in the Philippines. New cover art came out this week for Nathan Day's Orphan Surfacing, and that was Martina Stepan. She's from Croatia. So
beautiful cover.
Just beautiful cover. And so these collaborations aren't just like where you're physically at in today's artistic world. They take place all over the physical world too. And that's the beauty of the digital world. And but like kind of like what we're getting at, though, it's not just the value of what you do, but it's also the fact that as an independent artist, a lot of people think, oh, this must be just easy, or it's just glamorous, or it's just fun, or why don't you get a real job? Oh, that's just a hobby. And people don't realize that you have to wear many hats to do what we do. We can't call it sick. We don't have. There's no benefits. You work twice the amount of hours for 1/3 the amount of pay versus somebody that took up a more standard profession. And and it's very much it's a grueling kind of road for a lot of independent creatives.
Yeah, you definitely got to be passionate.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you hear about the ones that are doing very well, of course, the ones that hit the big media and all, but for the
for them.
But for it was just wonderful. More, by God, I am so happy.
More power to them.
When I hear about that, more power to them.
Yes.
But oh my God, I mean, for the overwhelming majority, and even the ones that are making it as a living, I mean, it's nothing is guaranteed. There's no guaranteed paycheck week to week. There's no guaranteed benefits or like anything of that nature. So it's a very tough road, and I hope that throughout the process of the show, you will get a sense of some of the things that we go through as independent creatives and people that follow this as a career. You'll get a sense of what kind of goes into it and what sacrifices are made, quite frankly.
Right. Because I mean, even if you're not feeling well, you're still working. There's been many days, because I do have fibromyalgia, and he can attest to this. There's been many days I'm in bed with the laptop. He's telling me not to, but I'm still working. So, and people don't see that. They think, oh, Holly's all and all the time. No, Holly's not. No. And the reality is, behind the scenes, but we do it because we're passionate about it, and we're passionate about our authors. We're passionate about our fellow indie creatives. And we want to talk about marketing. We want to talk about business strategies and different things. You got to think outside the box today. And we was talking about this the other day. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't expect just to write a book and say, here, it's going to sell itself. No, not in today's market.
Or release a song or put out a movie.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
You can't just fling it out there.
No, I mean, you may get lucky. One in a million, billion shot. I mean, there's billions of people in this world now. So if you get lucky, more power to you. But, most of us are not going to get that lucky. You have to pound the pavement. You have to make, videos, do readings, do painting instruction or whatever. You have to engage with your audience. The big thing with millennials is engagement. They like to be able to ask questions. They like to be able to get your feedback. They enjoy that. They enjoy, conversing. Maybe not always in person. With the introverted world, but online, through your videos, they can ask questions, do a Q&A or whatever, or you can do a Facebook Live, do a Q&A, things like that. You have to have different strategies.
And we're going to be talking about that quite a bit. It's ways to engage your audience, because there's so many different ways today. I mean, we could reel off, 100 different social media networks. We could talk about all kinds of crowdfunding models from Patreon to Kickstarter to Indiegogo to GoFundMe. I mean, we could talk about all kinds of means of engagement, traditional means, which I think are very effective. And I know it's tough for most of us are in a lot of ways introverted as authors, artists, as writers. And it is tough, but it is also very effective when you do engage people face to face at an event, a convention, a book fair, an art fair, a craft fair.
People like to meet you.
People do like to meet you, and so we will be covering all the things. I mean, not just today's digital world, but also things that you maybe say more traditional. Like for an author, book signings, book fairs, conventions, things like that. And so we'll be covering all those things in the show.
And the mental health aspects, too.
Mental health aspects.
Because a lot of creatives tend to suffer from manic depressions to,
that's part of the struggle.
It is
the mental struggle, because your
brain's never shut off.
No, it's not shut off. And then the other thing is, as an artist, you're always being judged. As soon as you get your stuff out there, the court of public opinion weighs in, and it's not always nice.
Not always pleasant.
And anybody can say anything about you, especially from behind a keyboard. And so a lot of artists.
Keyboard cowboys.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very difficult though. It's very difficult for a lot of artists to finally get their work out there and have to face that
Yeah, it's
kind of
scary.
reality. It's a bit scary for many of them, and so we're going to address those things because it is tough. I mean, there is a lot of struggle mentally, physically. I mean, and if you believe in spiritual things, spiritually as well, in pursuing this type of career, and so these are just all aspects of what goes into this cauldron to create the magic that is the the products of the imagination. When finally that video game does come out, when finally that book is on the shelf, when finally that film is at the film festival,
A piece of art is on
or
your
on
wall
Netflix, so that
that
piece
you
of art's on the
enjoy
wall.
seeing every day.
Yeah, when that finally comes out, that's a great moment. And recently on the Star Chamber Show podcast, which we are co-hosts of, Eric
On
Jude.
Wednesdays
Yeah,
at 9
Wednesdays,
o'clock
9 o'clock. There you go. A little plug.
Eastern.
but
We also do that.
but Eric Jude was talking about that. That's the most satisfying moment for him as an artist. Eric Jude of Frozen Creek Studios was talking about how when they see the finished thing, it makes the whole process and all those aspects and everything that went into that cauldron makes it worth it.
Yes.
And
You
and
see
I
the
can
finished
definitely-
product, your finished creation.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree to that. And because like Holly, I mean, even there's an art to what she does when she makes skincare products. She actually makes organic essential oil-based skincare products, and I see the same thing with her when she has over 20 years has tweaked out these recipes, and then finally, okay, here's a batch on the table, and it's done. And then she
And I make new concoctions.
yeah, and then she hears back from people when they say, yeah, this stuff works fantastic.
Or somebody says, hey, can you make
Yeah.
me something that would help
Yeah.
this? And, okay, well, then I go to the kitchen, do
Yeah.
my kitchen witch duties, and I figure
But
it
see,
out.
that's an art too. I mean, doing things like the skincare products or cooking and things like that. I mean, there's art to
Yeah,
all these
cooking's
things.
an art too.
To all these things. And so think of that. No matter who you are as a viewer, I mean, think of how all this applies, and think of how the process, the journey, all the things that go into it to get to that final product, final destination. Think about that as the show goes on. I think you'll find that you can relate to quite a bit of what we're talking about. It's going to be a lot of fun. And,
It is. We're going to have fun.
yeah, because I can relate. I mean, from the business side to the creative side, because I'm, also a screenwriter. I'm also an author. I have 12 books in print. So I'm always like doing things on the creative and artistic side.
We also do a blog.
Yeah.
There's the
Yeah,
7-star blog.
we also blog.
We do that.
Like we mentioned the podcast. We mentioned the press. So I mean, we are involved in podcasting and doing TV.
We also put on a
doing-
convention.
Yeah, we put on the Imaginarium convention. As if it's not enough.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we just finished with the fourth
Imaginary.
one. So, yeah,
And it
we get
is
through those.
for
Yeah.
creatives.
Yeah,
Not just
that one. You'll hear about that on the show.
it's based around it's based around creative writing, but
Yeah.
it's all areas
types of creatives.
creative writing.
Creative writing.
Creatives, period.
Creatives.
It's
Yeah.
a safe environment. It's a fun environment. There's no judgment. Everybody
Very
gets
inclusive
along
and
loves each
safe
other.
atmosphere.
It's just fun. It's a learning
Yeah.
experience. We cover everything. From all genres of writing to game design to filming. We have a film festival. We do a gaming expo hall. I mean, we do everything there.
Yeah,
We
just-
have artists. We have jewelry makers. We have,
Yeah.
we had somebody that did LaRue clothing this year. And, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's a
just
lot of stuff.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff,
But it's a really fun event. It's a young convention, so it's only in its fourth year this year. And next year we'll finally hit our first milestone at year 5. But yeah, that one's definitely one that's a passion of mine. When I founded it, and Holly's embraced that passion as well. Within the last couple of years, she's been working on it and sees what it does for people and what it can be for people.
and how excited the authors and everybody are very excited.
But-
they love the panels.
But I mean, when when we are interacting with you and you're giving us feedback on the show or asking questions and things like that, this gives you a little bit of frame of reference that we can relate in a lot of different areas, from
Yes.
the podcast to the TV stuff to conventions to the press to blogging to I mean marketing, PR, all kinds of things.
You may have heard our cat.
And you may have heard the cat.
That's dubious.
The cat has wandered into the Critics Cauldron studio. That is dubious. And
You will hear from Dubious.
you will
from
probably
time
hear
to
from from time to time, and we'll give him some camera time at some point here too. But he's,
Yeah.
I think he's wanting to be interviewed already.
Yeah, I think so. He's quite enjoyable, and he even has his own Instagram page and his own Facebook page.
Oh yes.
Yes, we take care of that too. So you get an idea in this first episode what all we have got our hands into.
Yes.
And many things, many.
Yeah, many things, and it's yeah, we do have a Facebook page, and we do have a Twitter account now, and so we are going to be working on channels, ways in which you can get back in touch with us and ask questions or give us comments and feedback and.
Well, you can give us
and on the YouTube. As
I say, on the YouTube itself, after you
page,
view this, you can actually leave us comments, feedback, questions, suggestions. We'll take it all, and we listen to you. So.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We definitely will respond.
Yeah, things you'd like to see on the show, things you might like to see us do on the show, or whatever. Be silly or whatever. But yeah, just
to a limit though. We want not necessarily.
Stephen has
everything.
his limits.
I have my limits. And even if you bribe me with a good bottle of high quality Kentucky bourbon, I do have my limits.
Here we go with the bourbon.
But hey, it's Kentucky, and I'm a Kentuckian, and a proud Kentucky Colonel, and so yeah, I'm gonna mention that once in a while.
You have to get that in there. But the main focus on this one was to give you the idea, what we do and what we hope to do with these videos and our weekly.
We'll be seeing you about every week, and well, certainly intending to see you every week.
Yes, every Friday we will post a new
posting one. A new one up.
And occasionally we'll do a live. We get brave enough. What actually started this and spinned it off was I do these Facebook lives once in a while when the eclipse happened. I did a Facebook live. We got a huge response. People loved it. People like to see us go back and forth and banter for whatever reason. It's entertaining to them. But I guess we thought, well, we'll try this and actually make it informative.
Make it fun and informative.
Yes, and have a good time with it. And plus, teach you a few tips and tricks.
A few things, yeah. So
well,
look up.
Take us out.
Look up the Creative Cauldron on Facebook. And find us also at Creatives Show, and that's Creatives plural Show on Twitter. That's at Creatives Show on Twitter. And of course, you look up Phillippe or Steven Zimmer, and we got a lot of
7-Star Press
stuff. Yeah, all that good stuff. But we'll check in with you in about a week. And thank you for joining us for our first episode of the Creatives Cauldron.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.